Well, Air Force, totally different animal than we've played the last two games, certainly. They're a very, very good offensive team. Not that those other teams weren't, just totally different in terms of their style of play. But they're one of the most efficient teams in the country. They're shooting the ball really, really well. They're number 3 in the country in three-point field goal percentage at 42%. They're 20th in the country in field goal percentage at 48%, and they're a veteran team. They returned 7 guys with major experience. They're number 3 in the country in what's called minutes continuity, meaning the guys that are out there playing have played together so much, and they're the 21st most experienced team. So they're a veteran team. They know their style of play. They run the Princeton offense. I think they're really looking to get out and transition more than normal. And so they put a lot of pressure on you. And then they run the Princeton offense, which is somewhat of a pattern offense with a lot of reads, a lot of back cuts if you overplay, a lot of slips. They post their guards and they're big shoot, so it's kind of inverted compared to most teams. And so they put a lot of pressure on you. They have 3 guys in double-figure scoring. A.J. Walker, their point guard. Lavelle Scotty, who's an returning all-league guy, number 12, who can shoot it. He's a really powerful, strong athlete. And then Ryan Swan is playing at a high level and is shooting it a lot better. And he's a 6'8", 240-pound 5'4" for them. So, but they got a veteran team. Number 0, Caleb Morris is leading the league in three-point field goal percentage and has been shooting it pretty well. So they put a lot of pressure on you. We have to really have great position defense and understand their system, which is a bit of there's a bit of a learning curve for your new guys in terms of what's coming. The veteran guys usually have a pretty solid feel for how to defend their stuff, and then we got to play well on the offensive end, and get in a good rhythm and play connected. And I thought we did that, the other night, the last 28 minutes, but the first 12 minutes we had 11 points, so that was a bit of an issue, but. Big road test going into Clune Arena. It's the smallest arena in terms of the Mountain West Conference, so it has a different dynamic to it. But we're ready for the challenge.
They are, what is it? Speaking of their home.
I looked at you, Al, right away because you usually get the first question.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
Maybe a senior age. I'll forget what I'm going to ask after a while. They're 11 points percentage better at shooting at home. 3-point, and that's an amazing difference for a home court advantage.
It is. They've been very, very good at home, including their last game at home on December 31st against UC Riverside, where they were just scorching, and I mean scorching. And but they're good. It's a great home court. Obviously, it's a smaller arena, which generally speaking means it's a better shooting arena, but that is an astounding number, Al. So we got to be on point, and we just got to know their system. It's just unique. You don't see it every day. And we've seen some teams that have run bits and pieces of the Princeton, and they run it as set plays. And we've actually played 3 or 4 of those teams now, including Florida. So we've seen some of that, and I think we have a decent feel. We've done a good job with that. Did a great job defending that stuff last year, holding them to 62 points both games. But certainly they are shooting it at a much higher level and are a much better offensive team this year than last year.
How tough is it to get? You kind of mentioned the veterans know about them, but still to face a team like this, you have such a short amount of time to.
Yeah, it's a real quick turnaround. 3 games in 7 days, which happens relatively often in the Mountain West, I guess, and especially for us this year with the Tuesday games. But it is tough. We come, a tough week last week, and certainly a very emotional game on Saturday night, in a late finish, and so now you come back, pretty quickly yesterday in preparing for these guys, and you have to embrace wanting to play a team like this because they're just very, very disciplined in what they do, and you got to embrace the challenge, and that's where it's at, and so. Is it difficult? Yes, but you know what? Life can be difficult, and so I've been really happy with our preparation the last 2 days.
Does it help? Is it more of a help? You have to prep on the court for this, or can film? Obviously film always helps, but you have to really walk through or see it before you can really, really feel it.
Yeah, film is what it is. It certainly helps, especially in our the younger generation today. They want to see stuff. That's their go-to. If they don't know an answer, they can look it up on their phone right away. So they love to see that. But certainly this is a thing that, and walkthrough helps, but walkthrough, they play with such good pace, you have to feel it going live, and it's important that their scout team does a good job, and they did. I felt like they did. But as much as they're in the right places at the right time, it still is, it's the most difficult scout to simulate the speed at which they run it and the sharpness of which they run it. So you got to get out there and play against it and get what it feels like. And even in our walkthrough at the end here, the veteran guys are like telling the scout team guys, we got to go quicker. We got to go quicker. And it's a walkthrough, but it's an accelerated walkthrough for sure.
And then Scotty himself, it's kind of a system, but I felt like he individually kind of became more of an individual player out, maybe not always just in that system.
Yeah.
He's a really tough individual guy who's turned into, normally we think Air Force guys are kind of in the system, and he is, right. But he can be tougher that way.
No, he does. That guy's a player, and you saw last year too, where he just made some plays, especially at their play, where it was just started. In our place too. They're giving their guys more freedom. And they did this last year as well, where they certainly are running the Princeton stuff, but they definitely have more freedom to break off some plays, so to speak, to go make a play, which is smart of them, because a guy like Lavelle Scotty and a guy like Ryan Swan, those guys can make some big time plays for them, whether it's shooting the ball or driving a closeout, or a guy gets a little out of position and just, instead of handing it off, he just keeps it, or what have you, whether it's a play for themselves or others. But those guys are a load, and I think it's really helped them.
I could be happy with Kate. I mean, not happy with the end result, but Kate put in some good minutes the other night.
Hey, we lost, and nobody's light on losing, but there was a lot of good things too from the other night, and they played very, very well, and we had some breakdowns at some inopportune times, and we had some opportunities to when we just couldn't get over that hump. When we'd get it to 7, we had multiple opportunities but we just didn't do it, and that's part of it. We missed some free throws. We're normally a very good free throw shooting team. Overhelped on a couple times, and they made you pay, and that's what great teams do. You make mistakes, they make you pay, and they're a very good team. So, but there was a lot of positives that came out of that night too. So, Keita was I thought very good. Obviously, his conditioning needs to continue to get better, but I thought he was moving better than ever. Thought he was clearly moving better last night or whatever on Saturday than he was before Christmas. So that's a good sign. Thought he played really hard. Gave us 28 minutes. Certainly made an impact on the game on both ends of the floor, and so that's what's exciting, is he's going to continue to grow and get better, and I think our team is just going to keep getting better, and I think that's the exciting part. So that's our focus is let's just get a little bit better every day, and let's play one game 15 more times, and that's how our mindset has to be.